Hey everybody, welcome back to another news roundup. Hope you guys have been enjoying the content channel as of late. We have an interesting topic for today. Didn't know if I wanted to talk about it, but upon kind of looking at it further, I actually think that there's kind of some interesting points to be made about this recent development, which is in regards to the Ninja Turtles franchise. Ninja Turtles as of late has been it's been around. It's still relevant. There's mostly on television. There's been some movies here and there. Most recently, we had Mutant Mayhem back in, I believe, 2023, which financially we'll get into that in a second because there's a point to that. But there were some developments happening with the brand, but apparently some of those developments have now changed for other developments that are now moving forward. Because according to a couple of reports, namely through the Hollywood Reporter, Paramount Pictures has apparently been shuffling around some of their Ninja Turtles developments. One of which that we talked about a few months ago was a R-rated adaptation of the comic called The Last Ronin. That has now been put on hold. There's put on hold with quote, as far as I've read based on the abbreviated look at the Variety article, with no immediate revival expected. So essentially, it's been canceled. And as a result of this, and that was meant to be live action, that R-rated adaptation, they are now shifting their focus to another live action feature, this one being now family friendly. So this one is going to be produced by Neil H. Moritz, who is most notably tied to the Sonic the Hedgehog films. And that is actually a very key point to bring up because within this endeavor, they are looking to, quote, Sonicify the Ninja Turtles brand. So they're looking to do something family-friendly, something that's aimed more at children, and leaving the adult ideas basically on the shelf or essentially canceled at this point. The sequel to Mutant Mayhem is still on the way. Is set for a release date for September 17th, 2027. I've seen some confusions for some people with regards to the little teaser that came out. That's actually for a short that is going to be playing in front of SpongeBob, the new SpongeBob film coming out. Because I saw some people confused. They're like, "Oh, well, didn't we just get a teaser?" It's like, no, that's for something else. So, but yeah, so we're still ways away from that film coming out, but yeah, there's been some shuffling around, and I think that there are three key points to all the shuffling around, and why it is that now they're looking to do a quote-unquote family-friendly live-action feature. So, first point to be made, which is something that I was kind of alluding to, I think that Mutant Mayhem wasn't as successful as some may think. When you look at the box office, remember, you have to take into consideration all the time, that number that you see is the raw number, but that's not the number that the studio makes off the movie. So when you actually do the math, that film basically underperformed. It didn't really do a whole lot of business for them. But you might be wondering, why are they doing a sequel? Well, this is kind of the norm nowadays. With a lot of films just failing, studios will just decide to roll the dice with another feature, probably with the hopes of, with more awareness that people will come and more people will come, where really it's the opposite. Less people will show because, people are not that moronic. They see what they saw the first time. It's like, I don't know why you expect them to return the second time. But yeah, it wasn't as successful as some may think. So that leads to my second point, which is that I think that they're transitioning back to live action now, in fear of what animation might be financially down the road, because it tells me that they might be scared of what Mutant Mayhem 2 may ultimately bring for them. Um, so, and I wouldn't blame them. I mean, because, Mutant Mayhem didn't really do a whole lot of much. I mean, it was critically well received, but a whole lot of people didn't really go to show, they didn't really care to seek it out. Um, so, so I think that they're kind of fearing that, and it's been a while since they've done live action. The last live action was the sequel to the Michael Bay film, Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows, which was back in 2016. So it'll be well over a decade since they've done a live action feature. So there's that as well. So I think that they're just transitioning back because ultimately of the fear of what animation might be for them down the line. And the third point, which is the most obvious, I think that Paramount just needs another and wants another, quote, family-friendly franchise to utilize. Because when you look at the brands that they have, their most major brands, the ones that probably would appeal to kids, are not working. Transformers has not been working. Star Trek has not been working now. That's why they're rebooting it. Mission Impossible, more of adult-oriented stuff, but that has not done well at all, really, lately. The ones that have been doing well lately, Sonic, we know has been doing well. Top Gun, which really is just one film. I mean, we don't know how. We'll see how the next film does. And then we have their horror brands that have been doing well, A Quiet Place and the Scream franchise. So they're not really huge in the kid camp. There's a lot of adult products out there, but not a whole lot for kids. So Ninja Turtles is prime for kids. So, I think that, and I always thought the R-rated feature was not necessarily a great idea to begin with, just because financially it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. You're going to alienate so much of your audience when you go down that route. I understand for fans, they would want to see something different, more edgy, but financially speaking, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So I never understood why they were going that route anyway. So as it stands, what they're doing, I honestly think is probably the right move for the brand, because they have to think more financially. I understand taking risk and all that stuff, but financially, it just makes the most sense for them to go a family-friendly route. And obviously, if animation is not the answer to that, because Mutant Mayhem, like we illustrated, wasn't that successful, and they're going to do another film, which more than likely probably is not going to do too great. Maybe I'll be wrong, but I mean, that seems as though they don't see it that way. Also, because it's going to be about 4 or 5 years since Mutant Mayhem came out until this movie sequel comes out. So there's going to be a lot of time, about half a decade of time, of between movies. So, if the sequel should have already been coming out this year or next year, but, so, for them to transition back to live action, I think also small little thing, it's a little small thing here. They've been most recently doing reissues or re-releases of the original films, the original 90s trilogy, and those have actually been doing fairly well as far as I've heard. So maybe that's also a part of the equation as well. So, but regardless, I think that what they're doing is the right decision, and I think that the brand will benefit more because of it. So, because Paramount needs something. The answer might in fact be Warner Brothers, because they're probably going to end up getting the company, as far as I can tell. But in terms of their own brands, I think that this is the route that you should be taking with the brand, not the R-rated thing that they were going to end up doing. I mean, that might have appealed to a certain demographic, but you're going to alienate your larger demographic, which is kids. So yeah. So I think that I think they're kind of moving in a similar way that Transformers has, where they were at live action, then financially they started slipping. So then they went the route of animation, and then that didn't work out too much financially. So now they're just piggybacking back to live action. But we'll see how it all fares down the road. We'll see how Mutant Mayhem 2 comes out, if financially it does any business for them. But I think this is an indication of them maybe not being so confident with that film. So, but you guys let me know your thoughts on all the shakeup that happened with Ninja Turtles. Are you guys in agreement with the R-rated feature basically getting canceled? Are you interested in the new family-friendly feature that they're going for? They're looking to do potentially a trilogy, as far as I looked into, which I don't like that mentality. Just do one film and see if it works. But let me know all your thoughts, Ninja Turtles related, in the comment section below. And that's going to be it for this video, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. And until then, I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye.